When her neighbor's dogs killed her car, she destroyed their entire family on Christmas Day. Margot's Christmas became a blood feud the day her neighbor's dogs tore her beloved cat, Smokestack, to pieces. Margot was a local legend, a sweet, 65-year-old vet clinic receptionist who knew everyone and baked cookies for your birthday. But her life turned dark thanks to the trashy neighbors next door. Their pit bulls, notorious for terrorizing the neighborhood, had been a ticking time bomb. Margot repeatedly warned them to keep their dogs contained, but they just laughed her off. Margot had always been patient, even as her neighbors pushed her limits. Their pit bulls had terrorized the street for years, breaking into yards and killing smaller animals. She begged them to keep the dogs locked up, especially since Smokestack was too old to defend himself, but they dismissed her warnings, mocking her as a busybody and rolling their eyes when animal control left another toothless warning on their door. Then it happened. Smokestack had been sitting in the garage with Margot while she decorated for Christmas. 1 minute, he was sniffing a box of ornaments. The next, the pit bulls were tearing through the flimsy garage door. Smokestack didn't stand a chance. Margot's screams drew her son and husband running with bats, but by the time they pried the dogs off, it was too late. Smokestack was limp, his fur matted with blood. When Margot rushed him to the vet clinic where she'd worked for decades, her co-workers knew the outcome before she even walked through the door. Smokestack was gone. The grief was unbearable. Margot sat with her cat's body for hours, tears running silently down her face. But when she finally stood, there was no more crying. "Take care of him," she whispered to her co-workers. "I've got work to do." Margot was no ordinary pet owner. She knew everyone in town, cops, judges, animal control officers, and she used every connection she had. She handed the police photos of Smokestack's injuries and video footage from her grandson's security camera, which captured everything: the dogs breaking in, Smokestack's attack, and Margot's desperate fight to save him. The video shocked even the most hardened officers. Within days, Margot's case was fast-tracked to court. The neighbors tried to play innocent, claiming their dogs were friendly, but the video evidence and years of complaints from other neighbors sealed their fate. A judge ruled the dogs were dangerous and ordered their immediate removal. Margot had one final move. She pulled a string no one saw coming, convincing her old friend, the supervisor at Animal Control, to schedule the removal for Christmas Eve. When the neighbors saw Animal Control pull up, they panicked. They ran to Margot's door, pounding and screaming, "Please, Margot, it's Christmas. Don't do this. The dogs are like family to us." Tears streamed down their faces, but Margot didn't flinch. She stepped out onto the porch, looked them dead in the eye, and said, "You took my family from me. Now I'm taking yours." She shut the door as the officers loaded the dogs into the truck. That night, as Margot's Christmas lights flickered on, she watched through her window as the dogs were taken away, for good. The fallout didn't stop there. Karma came for the neighbors in waves. On Christmas night, the father, drunk and furious, crashed his car into a telephone pole, killing himself instantly. The mother, overwhelmed and spiraling, lost custody of her children to CPS by February. By September, the house was in foreclosure, and the family was scattered to the wind.